Right, this morning we come to one of the many contentious issues in the scriptures. They are contentious so much more today because of the lethargy that is within Christendom and overall apostasy that's in Christendom. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. How have the mighty fallen? And sad to say, there are those that swagger around and declare that they are something that they are not. Oh yes, they are holier than us. And you know, it comes to a sad pass when we have to say that the ministers that should feed us, the under-shepherds that should feed us, have scattered us upon every hillside and every mountain. And they're looking after themselves. That's a sad day. But that is the day that we're living in. Under-shepherds that hardly know the scriptures, that are repeating and repeating things that have already been established. And as Paul says, we should move on from that. But these persons cannot move on. They can't move on. And much more so with the devil's lot, the Arminian neo-evangelicals, who are forever so-called preaching the gospel, though it be another gospel, and another spirit, and another God, another Jesus, another church, another way of salvation. Everything that is opposite to Christianity, even decrying the term religion, Christian religion. These damnable children of hell, of the synagogue of Satan, within the kingdom of Satan. Now we come to the subject of marriage and divorce. Let us start out with the clear understanding which the end time prophets do not wish to hear and to know, and they are steadfast on this, that the bill of divorcement has been given to that old system of political Israel. It's given. It's been handed. A complete cut. The judgment of God, the wrath of God, come upon it to the uttermost. There's no going back. No going back. In Matthew chapter 19, the Pharisees again try to catch Christ out by his words. They make him, or seek to make him, an offender for a word. Oh yes, once they get this singular word, they can spread it abroad. Blow the trumpets on every housetop. He said this, he said that, he said the other. And when of course they couldn't, in the end, they just simply told lies. Just told lies. And paid for others to tell lies. Do you want to know something? You may not like to know something. You know when you get your breaking news on this abomination in the corner? and there's this being terrorist act, it's all paid for by the Pharisees in government, who employ agencies to create a fake event. And the witnesses that come forward testifying that they've been there, they're paid. No different than the Pharisees here. Huh? 99.9% of all breaking terrorist news, if not 100%, is fake. It's all paid for to keep people in fear. The Cold War is gone. Alright? And so what fills the vacuum? What fills it? Terrorism comes along and fills it. Okay? We need to wake up. What has filled the vacuum of C&D? Why has C&D gone away when we still can blow ourselves up 100 times with nuclear weapons? Environmental has risen up. But C&D should be still be there. It's not. You see how we've been played? And when this environmental huge fear-mongering organisation goes, what next? Huh? But the environment's still going west, isn't it? Well, it'll soon vanish for the next generation. For another fear-mongering. Well, now then, let's get back to Matthew 19 concerning adultery. Okay? Marriage and adultery. Alright. Now, the Pharisees came to Christ. The Pharisees, verse 3, also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? Now, first of all, who's speaking? Remember, whenever we get into a conversation with somebody who is opposing us, always think who is speaking. Because the person speaking has the answer. They always have the answer. The Pharisees had the answer. The Pharisees. They knew all too well the answer. So why are they asking Christ? Because they're trying to catch him out. That's why the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him. We have to be alert. The opposition has the answers. They truly have the answers. And we've got to put it to them. Well, you know because of this. Always, you know. That's what the enemy does. It covers up what it knows, and it tries to get us to trip ourselves up. But if we're honest and straightforward, we can't trip ourselves up, and that annoys them. It really annoys them. We don't have to shout at them. All we do is just talk to them. Well, you know, you've got the answer yourself. Here it is. The Pharisees came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? You see? For every cause. They knew there was a cause. Why didn't they just say, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? That's where it should have stopped. But they knew there was a cause for a man to put away his wife. Equally for a woman to put away his wife. Okay. Oh. Subtle as serpents. Really subtle. Verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read? You see? Have ye not read? Christ is saying, of course you've read. He has been as subtle and dove-like. Have ye not read? Put it back to them. Have ye not read? Of course you've read. Of course you have read. Eh? That he which made them at the beginning, made them male and female. Right? We're going back to the first principle. Always we go back to the first principle. Alright? Never, never let us get carried away with secondary issues. Go back to the first principle. That's what we should do. That's how we begin to know things. Going back to the first principle and then moving on from there. Alright? I'll give you one. Alright? Now, neo-evangelicalism doesn't like the way I speak, because I speak practical. But neo-evangelicalism is from the pit. You think about it this way. Alright. Adam and Eve were perfect in the sight of God. Morally, ethically, perfect. And then they fell. And from then on, sin, of course, entered the world. All evil was let out of the pit. The reigning condemnation of God fell. One sentence after the next, after the next, after the next. And that's how it's always been. That's how it's always been. And we see this in the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ. One vial reflecting the vileness of the world, being tipped out one after another after another. Because if all the vials and all the woes were tipped out at once, man would not be able to survive. Everything was done specifically, line upon line, layer upon layer, all within a given time, that time known to God. And of course, hail against the hail of lies that man would put up. Hail returned as a consequence, beating down upon the heads of others. Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? He that made them. Not evolve, he. Are we going to trust to Christ or to Darwin and his creation? He being God of his own creation. A tin pot God who people worship rather than their maker. Darwin was their maker. Think about it. He created man in his own image. Said he evolved, that he himself evolved. So he must have been in the beginning then, mustn't he? To have seen man evolve. And the only person in the beginning is God. And when you think it through, when we do think this through, how vile is Darwin, therefore how vile is his creation. There's nothing good in his creation. All vileness, selfishness, godlessness, evil and wickedness of every way possible. And billions upon trillions have been spent supporting this man, when it should have been given to the poor and the needy, and in fact the taxpayers' money spent properly. wasted by godless urchins. In the beginning made them male and female. Verse 5, and said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. We are married to Christ. We're no longer married to the world. There is a divorce gone on. Oh no, says the ignorant minister in his pulpit. Again, it's sad, to see this. We're supposed to be the ones in the pew being instructed by the person in the pulpit instead of the pew instructing the pulpit. We have been divorced. A certificate of divorcement within justification by faith has been given to this world. We're divorced from this world and married to Christ. As much as Israel political has been given a bill of divorce, there's no going back. Wherefore they shall no more twain but one flesh. Note, one flesh. There is none of this business, and should never be this business, oh well, she's, under the thumb. They're one flesh. Do you hate your flesh? Of course you do. If you're going to run down your wife, or your wife's going to run you down, that's not a marriage. That's an abomination. Marriage is the what? What is it? The meeting of minds. Was Adam and Eve in a register office? Was Adam and Eve before a church and a minister exchanging rings and vows? No. There was a meeting of minds in the first place, and that's where it starts. It's not in ceremonies. It's a meeting of minds. It's a mutual love for one another, and to be considerate of one another. You have faults, I have faults. Therefore, let's deal with our faults together. We are one flesh. How corrupt this world is. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. And that's an absolute. No man put asunder what God has joined. How dare any man put asunder what God has joined. And within this, it's people that come along, maybe the mother-in-law, and try to separate a couple. That is nasty. That is wicked. That is cutting asunder what God has joined together, where there is a true marriage. A lot of marriages are not true, but where a marriage of meeting of minds, there is a oneness between the two persons, that bond as there is with us with Christ. Except with our bond, it is an eternal bond. There should nobody come along, nobody, to try and break up that union. And anybody that seeks to do that, they should be thrown out. They're wicked people. They're not enhancing a marriage, they're destroying a marriage. Because they hate God. Because the principle is here that God is joined together. And they are for attacking God through this union before God. As they attack God on every hand in their destruction, which they leave in their pathway. Total, utter destruction. And they just go on and they laugh. The snidey laugh that they do. The laugh of hell. But little do they understand in their satisfaction, because there is a satisfaction, an intrinsic satisfaction with these persons, to cause as much havoc as they can do. They joy in it. They revel in it. There is a hell that is going beyond the hell that they're in. You see, the kingdom of God is heaven. It's heavenly. It's peace. It's righteousness. Holiness. In the kingdom of hell, the devil, is chaos and confusion and every strife and wicked way, and people are tormented in their souls, tormented in their consciences. There's no rest to the wicked, night or day there. And all of that kingdom shall be consummated in the depths of hell from whence it came. The kingdom of God will be consummated with God. Everything will return to God. And we shall ever be with the Lord in this kingdom of the fullness of God. No going back. No 1,000 years. None of the saints coming down like these devils teach to reign 1,000 years. Wickedness.